Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning gathering, Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, sponsored by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. We're so glad to have you here this morning. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe, Palacino, and I'm so happy to be here this morning with my friend Zeenat Potia, who is one of our instructors at Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. And it's been a while since we've had you on, so happy to have you back. Good morning, Zeenat.
Good morning, Suzanne. Thank you so much for having me, and a very warm welcome to the community this morning.
Yeah, so nice to have you here this morning. And yes, definitely welcome to everyone that's here joining us this morning. For anyone that's new, a special welcome to you, and we'll describe our morning this morning to you so you can know how all the things, how things progress. And if you're brand new to meditation, we'll guide you throughout the process. So as we usually do, today we'll start off with a question for the group. Zeenat will share a few words with us and then go right into at least a 12-minute guided meditation practice. And I say guided, it's mostly guided. We'll have a little bit of time where there'll be silent time. So all of us can get used to that method. And then after that, we'll have time for questions. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and open up the chat, and once you open up the chat, you'll notice a blue drop-down menu at the bottom. And that says hosts and panelists. You can change that to everyone, and folks will be able to see your comments as you share them. All right, then. So as we begin, Zeenat, what question do you have for the group this morning?
So the question today is to recall a time when you went on a trip or explored a new experience or activity, and to try to remember or to consider what attitude or perspective or mindset or qualities helped you in that endeavor, on that journey, or in that experience as an explorer. What qualities helped you?
Share that in the chat. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of good comments coming in as I think about my comment. Yeah, I think just allowing, I think the feeling of allowing things to be as they are has helped me in those circumstances, to just be open to a new experience and just allow things to progress as they will.
To trust the unfolding. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Zeenat?
Courage, for sure. And I see that somebody else has mentioned that. Actually, both curiosity and courage are a couple of my favorite ones. And I'm really appreciating and loving the shares.
Open-mindedness and receptivity, curiosity, planning and organizing, a sense of humor.
For sure. Trying something, a willingness to try something different. Appreciation.
Appreciation for others, excitement, eagerness, and openness. Calmness, courage. Yeah, especially when it's something new. Shifting from what if to don't know mindset. Yeah. Taking advantage of the opportunity. Yeah, I love that. Loretta's mentioned about Mexico City and trying to think about what happened during the time of those pyramids.
So that's what Loretta is sharing. It's kind of an empathetic relating, stepping outside one's own experience and kind of into another's shoes. A love of differentness. I love that. And then Rizvana sharing patience and allowing space for others' opinions. I also love the use of the word excitement and eagerness up above from Heather. That certainly is very useful. Oh, how beautiful. Beautiful. Wow, thank you all so much. So to just stay with this, I invite you to stay with this collection that we've co-created together of these qualities, these mindsets that help us as explorers. And I'd like to plant the seed that when we meditate, that meditation is a form of exploration. One could say it's a form of exploring one's own consciousness, heart, mind, and body. So this particular lived experience that we each find ourselves in, that's unique. So internally, heart, mind, and body. When we do the form of practice, and if you do with eyes closed, you're turning inward, you're exploring the depths of this being. And then when we open our eyes outside of formal practice, when we bring mindfulness into our daily lives, we're in relationality to the external. So other people, objects, experiences, and all of you have shared that, the external. And you've shared both actually, qualities required when we're the explorers internally, and then externally when we look outward. What helps us on this path? And to think of all of these, that you already have the qualities and the skill sets as explorers on the path of life, if you will. And so can we bring those with us to our meditation? Can we harvest these same qualities toward our meditation practice? And then just see what happens. It's a new kind of way of approaching meditation, or just a new lens, if you will, because often there might be sort of a narrative of, now I have to do like a thing to do, check off one's checklist, or something that might seem grim or boring or uncomfortable. And it could be some of those things, but how can we refresh it for ourselves? So let's go on, if you will, if you'd like to join me on a little journey together this morning as a community, bringing this harvest with us to help us as we practice. So finding a comfortable posture. And then just, you don't need to memorize all of these things, because what needs to stay with you will stay with you, just to trust that. And as you come into an upright, relaxed shape, whatever that looks like and is for you, you might close the eyes, or you might have a soft gaze. And then see from that bountiful gathering of qualities, if there's one, maybe two at most, that are floating to the top or rising to the top for you in terms of resonating, and then see if you can bring those as your intentions for the practice today. So for me, curiosity and courage are what I would like to bring with me as my guides, as my intentions. So no matter what I encounter, I might encounter any number of things: emotions, thoughts, moods, physical sensations, sounds, breath. I'm going on an inward journey. I have with me my allies, curiosity and courage, to help me to stay on the path in the present moment, in harmony with my body, heart, and mind. And then if I get knocked off, if I start going down a path in the past or a path in the future, I can pause with gentleness and kindness, get back on the chosen road of the present moment, of the here and now, recognizing that our meditation journey is not to go somewhere else, but to keep arriving here, to keep arriving here. And infusing this journey with some joy. If you find yourself in a wacky place in the past or the future, you could just Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese Zen teacher, invited us to smile, to have an inner smile. Wasn't that silly? Okay. And then beginning again. And a quiet joy can help us meet the difficult, a sense of lightness. It's not superficial, a flippancy, but it's a joy that comes from understanding and compassion, a recognition of our humanness. We're imperfect. This is a practice. keeping the practice going. If you like, adding in some wishes of loving kindness, no matter which journey we're on, could all use some more kindness toward ourselves, towards others, and being willing to receive the kindness that's being offered. So wishing yourself well. May I be well. May I be well. Wholeheartedly, happily taking care of oneself. May I be well. May I be loved, protected, guided, and held. May I be loved, protected, guided, and held. And then if you feel so inclined, widening the field of awareness and dedicating the merits, the fruits of our practice this morning towards all beings, without question and without exception. May all beings everywhere be loved, be protected, be guided, and be held. May it be so. And I will invite the bell. So as you hear the sound, continuing to practice with the sound until you don't hear it anymore. And as you take your time, opening the eyes, perhaps stretching, moving a little bit as you come back. Consider that you're still on your exploration, because now we're in relationship to one another, to our environment. So we want to bring whatever those qualities that you chose for your formal meditation, we want to bring them with us, not leave them behind. So I'll just share a couple of lines from T.S. Eliot. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Once again, by T.S. Eliot. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. So this is a very human thing. You know, human beings have always been explorers. And so we're exploring in meditation as a practice to return home, to keep returning home, to keep returning home. So I hope you'll consider this, and if it's helpful for you, and take it with you. Thank you for your practice, and certainly open to any questions or comments.
Thank you so much, Zeenat. You know, it really is true. Each time we sit, it's a different experience every time. And if we can sit with some more of that openness and curiosity, we'll see different things. So I really like how you opened us up to that with this practice. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And I loved the offerings from the community. Just a reminder that you already, even if you're a new meditator or you struggle with the practice, you already know how to do it. You already know. And even if you've never gone on a single trip in your life, you've walked the path of living. That is a trip. We're all on a journey here, on planet Earth, if you will. We're all travelers and we're fellow travelers. So to consider that too, when other people become problematic or annoying, to consider they're just fellow travelers. They want what our heart wishes, which might be to be happy. Some people might make unhealthy choices, and I don't mean unhealthy as in health as in the typical way people think of it, or not unwholesome, if you will, choices. But that every human being is redeemable, has value.
So true, so true. And I noticed Sheila mentioned she enjoyed the extended silence. So that was nice to allow us to explore what goes on in the silence, right? Mm-hmm. And how that's a good way to practice seeing where the mind goes and bringing it back. And that's just the way meditation works. So for anyone that's new, if you did find yourself being lost in thought, that's just the way the mind works and the way meditation works. So
Exactly.
It's just reinforcing the muscles of mindfulness as we get taken away and come back. So
that's right. That's right. And Sharon Salzberg, a well-known teacher, always says that it's the coming back that's the meditation. And when you think of it as coming back home, instead of the frustration or, oh no, I'm not doing this right, or my mind is so scattered, each time you even notice that you're elsewhere, that's a moment of mindfulness. It's a moment to delight and to celebrate. Oh, that's like a wake-up call to come back home, to keep coming back to the present moment, and to make our home in the present moment. Even if the home is messy or the home is sad or the home is uncomfortable, that's what we're training in. That's what we're training in, to not always be so outward focused that our comfort or our happiness or our validation is outside of ourselves, because we're always then going to be seeking, and coming up short eventually. So
right, yeah.
Thank you, Susanna. I love that resonated for you. It's my new favorite line. It really helps. Practice with it as an experiment, especially when you do have some difficulty with others, which, might, at least for me, is multiple times a day, is to consider that, just to kind of drop it in for yourself, in your own, you don't have to say it to anybody else, just in your own mind-body system, to recognize, to see the innate goodness in all beings. Really helpful. Really helpful to take us out of defensive protection mode and more into wanting to understand and possibly connect. Don't have to like everybody, but it's more about understanding and connection.
Right. As Vana mentioned, I did a meditation at a pond in Mount Auburn Cemetery, at a pond near Mary Baker Eddy yesterday in the rain.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That sounds lovely. We can make the best of the rain many times, and just listening to it can be very, very soothing. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Zeenat, for your practice and for your guidance and your words this morning. I think they really resonated for a lot of folks. So we're grateful.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Sounds good. And Zeenat will be covering next week, at least on Thursday. I'll be away. So we'll see her again soon. But we'll be back tomorrow. So hopefully folks can join as well. Have a good rest of your day and see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.